Hey there, it is pumpkin season, so today I will be sharing 5 of my family's all-time favorite desserts using a can of pumpkin. These recipes are easy to make, so I am so excited. Let's go get to my kitchen and let's go get started. To kick us off today, we are making these extreme pumpkin pie bars. So to this bowl, we're getting started on the crust first. It's just 6 tablespoons of softened butter with 1/3 cup of brown sugar. Beat those 2 ingredients together super well until they are well combined. Then add in 1 cup of all-purpose flour. Beat it in until it is crumbly just like this. Pull out an 8x8 baking dish and either line it with foil or parchment paper. Spray it with nonstick spray just so it's easy to, pull out of the pan in the end. Then pour the crust in and press the crust down. Bake this in a preheated oven to 350 degrees for about 10 minutes. While it's baking away, we're getting started on the pumpkin pie filling now. It's a 15-ounce can of pumpkin puree with 3/4 cup of sugar. Next, add in 1 cup of milk and then a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now add in 1.5 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice. After you add that in there, go ahead and toss in 2 eggs. The last thing you're going to add in is 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Mix these ingredients together until it is silky and smooth. These pumpkin pie bars are so easy to throw together. I know a lot of traditional pumpkin pies and other pumpkin pie bars are hard to make, but these are so easy. Once your crust is out of the oven, add that pumpkin pie filling in there and then bake this for about 60 minutes or until everything has set. We let ours cool a little bit and then topped ours with a little bit of Ready Whip. That crust is so good. It's almost like a cookie. And then that pumpkin pie filling is absolutely phenomenal. It has the right amount of seasonings in it. You just need to try these. And like I said, it's easy to make. I make these every year with my little ones. We are making these 3-ingredient pumpkin cookies now. So into a bowl, add in a box of spice cake mix. Next, add in a 15-ounce can of pumpkin puree. Mix these 2 ingredients together super well until you can no longer see the cake mix. Add in 1 cup of chocolate chips now. Stir those chocolate chips in super well. Next, pull out a cookie sheet or a sheet pan and line it with parchment paper just for easy cleanup in the end. And then you are going to scoop balls of that cookie dough out and place it right onto your pan and then bake it in a preheated oven to 350 degrees for about 11 to 14 minutes or until the cookies have set. Here's what the cookies look like out of the oven. They are just so beautiful and my house was smelling so good at this point. I know a lot of other pumpkin chocolate chip cookies have 100 ingredients in them, but seriously, these taste so similar to those complicated recipes. You really should try this one. Now we are making these pumpkin cheesecake brownies, and these are totally up my alley. So into a bowl, add in 1 box of brownie mix. It doesn't matter what type of brownie mix you use. Next, add in 1/4 cup of water, followed by 1/3 cup of vegetable oil. Next, add in 1 egg and mix these ingredients together super well until you kind of have a traditional brownie batter. After that, you are going to set this to the side. We're going to work on the cheesecake filling now. So into this bowl, add in 1 cup of pumpkin puree, followed by 8 ounces of softened cream cheese, 1/2 tablespoon of pumpkin pie spice, and then 1/2 cup of sugar. I forgot to add the sugar in until I had already beat this together, so don't forget to add that sugar in. Pull out an 8x8 baking dish and spray it with nonstick spray. Add half of the brownie batter in and spread it out. Then add that cheesecake layer over the top. Spread the cheesecake layer out, and if you're a cheesecake fan, you will absolutely love these brownies. I am the biggest cheesecake and brownie fan, so I basically ate this whole pan. Spread the remaining brownie batter over the top and bake this in a preheated oven to 325 degrees for about 40 minutes. And then I let these chill, and this is absolutely so good. That cheesecake filling in the middle just totally kicks these brownies up a notch. They're so delicious. Now we are making this pumpkin honey bun cake, and yes, you heard that right. To a big bowl, add in a box of yellow cake mix. Next, add in 4 eggs. After you add the eggs in there, add in a half a cup of sour cream. The sour cream is really going to help keep the cake moist. After that, add in a half a cup of vegetable oil, then 1 cup of pumpkin puree. I just used part of a can. Then add in a tablespoon of vanilla extract. After you add that vanilla in there, add in 2 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice. Mix this together super well until it is smooth. After this is well combined, you are going to pull out a large baking dish, spray it with non-stick spray, then add half of the cake mix right in there. Spread that cake mix out to the best of your ability. Over the top of the first layer of cake mix, you are going to sprinkle a half a cup of brown sugar just over the top of it. Also, I want to thank a super sweet subscriber. She sent me this brown sugar keeper container, and it really has kept my brown sugar from drying out. I really am so thankful for you guys. I know I say that, but truly from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys for being here today. I really am grateful for each and every one of you. Go ahead and pour the remaining cake mix over the top of the cake and bake it in a preheated oven to 350 degrees for about 30 minutes or until the cake has set. Also, in the dessert section of my cookbook, there is like a ton of desserts that are just like perfect for this time of year. I have like different Christmas desserts in there, just so many family favorites. So if you don't have a cookbook, I do have some available right now. I have it linked below this video for you. But while this is baking in the oven, I am going to go ahead and get started on the glaze. The glaze is just going to go over the top once the cake is slightly cooled. All the glaze is a cup of powdered sugar with 2 tablespoons of milk and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Beat this together super well until it turns into a glaze. Once the cake is out of the oven for about 10 minutes, go ahead and pour the glaze over the top, and oh boy, when I tell you this cake is delicious, it truly is. It is like the perfect definition of like a honey bun pumpkin cake. It's so delicious and not your average like pumpkin dessert. It is super duper yummy. Now we're making this pumpkin crumble cake, and I could absolutely eat this every single week and not get tired of it. It really has the best texture and taste. Into this big bowl, I added in a 15-ounce can of pumpkin puree, along with a 12-ounce can of evaporated milk and 3 eggs. Next, add in a third a cup of sugar and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Whisk this together super well to break the eggs and combine the ingredients. Once it kind of looks like this, you're going to want to set it to the side. In this big bowl right here, I'm going to add 1 box of yellow cake mix in. The reason why I'm doing this is because you need 1 box of spice cake mix for this recipe. My grocery store was all sold out of spice cake mix, so I'm making it at home. So to make it at home, all you need is a box of yellow cake mix with 2 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice, and whisk it together. But I have my 9x13 baking dish right here. I sprayed it with non-stick spray. Now I'm adding the pumpkin mixture right in there. Then you're going to want to sprinkle the cake mix all over the top. Just be careful because you don't want to mix this. You want the 2 layers to be separate, because the bottom layer kind of turns into like a pumpkin pie layer, and then the top turns into a crumble layer. It's really good. Just place 3/4 cup of sliced butter on the top. Bake this in a preheated oven to 350 degrees for about 50 minutes or until the center has set. Once it's out of the oven, you want to wait about 20 minutes before you cut into it, just so the bottom layer has extra time to set. But this is probably one of my all-time favorite desserts. That pumpkin pie mixture on the bottom is absolutely phenomenal, and the top part is like almost like crispy and soft